Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I am on at a little bit earlier time today. Please hit that like, share, and subscribe. Happy Tuesday, May 26th. Hey, Street Poet, how are you? Thank you for coming in. Hey, Max. Um, so, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. It is a gloomy day on the East Coast. I am home today because I am getting some new furniture delivered. So I am home waiting on that. Hey, Rainy, you may hear the little one kind of in the background back there, or my dog. She might hop up here. She's a big girl now for some of y'all that have followed my journey with her. Yes, it is humid outside. So yes, you see me with the braids because I washed my hair and it is wet outside. Well, humid, it's all nasty. Hey, Kayos. Hey, Bookie. But first thing first. Nixon 4. Shout out to my New York Knickerbockers out there. Shout out to y'all. I wish I would have been home last night because I would have been in the street. But let me go ahead and start it off with this. Okay. Let me start it off.
Ready, are you ready? What's going on? Steady, are you ready? Are you ready? What's going on? What's going on? Cold, fresh air. Feel the melody that's in the air. I'm down, take a look around. Oh, it's slow now. However do you want me? However do you need me? However do you want me? However do you need me? However do you want me? However do you need me? However do you want me? However do you need me? However do you want me?
It was the best time of our lives. Getting money was all we ever did.
All right. I just want to say I wish I really, really quick shout out to the New York Knickerbocker Knicks. Okay. The New York Knicks. Thank you, Rainy Putz, for the goals. Please make sure. I've got to share. I finally made my wish list for my legal library. Let me grab that real quick and put it in the chat for y'all, for the ones people been asking, like, oh, we would love to, how can we support on my journey here. So I do have, I don't think any book is over $25, actually, to be honest with you. Let me find my library list. Hold on for me, y'all. Hold on. Anyway, if you're just getting here, please hit like, share, and subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe. And also, I got other stuff. Wish list. Move. I hope everybody is doing okay today on this good old nasty piece of Tuesday. There is a lot going on here in this administration that we have, if we call it that. There is a lot going on. First things first, let's take a look at there are massive layoffs. Hey, Ken, there are massive layoffs that are about to happen. So I just want y'all to see this really quick. If you know somebody that works in these industries, and the most alarming part of it is most of it is tech stuff. Because they have not put parameters or any type of constraints on AI. What is happening in real time is we're seeing it attack every day. I do not have a Substack. I said I do need to get a Substack to begin to start writing. I need to get into my writing bag, but I want you guys to listen to this because this is really, really important about jobs.
I think layoffs are done. you are already behind what's coming. I'm going to say this real slow because some people are still pretending that everything is fine. A shift is happening in the labor market, folks, and it's a real shift.
The scary part is most of these companies are actually in tech. Amazon, Microsoft, Verizon. That's really concerning because tech is like one of the top industries to get into to have a secure future. So if we're seeing all these layoffs happening, what does this really mean in the future?
And if you don't have the knowledge for it, it's still going to run you over. So I lost my job last year and all the hoopla, right? And every week I'm talking to somebody that either got laid off and lost their job, or they know somebody that lost their job. Whether it's government, tech, manufacturing, y'all see all the names, it doesn't really matter, right? It's everywhere. Now, some people keep saying it's AI, it's AI, it's AI. I'm like, nope, that's not it. AI is the excuse, but profit is the actual reason why so many layoffs are happening.
Yeah.
These companies are not choosing between you and technology.
They're choosing themselves.
They are choosing between you and their profit margin.
Yes.
And every time they're going to step over your unemployed body to make those shareholders happy. I'm telling y'all, if you think layoffs are done, you are already behind what's coming. I'm going to say this real slow because some people are still pretending that everything is fine. A shift is happening in the labor market, folks, and it's a real shift.
The scary part is most of these companies.
As you can see, you've got UPS, Amazon, Intel, Nissan, Nestle, Microsoft, Dell, Verizon, Accenture. You've got Salesforce, IBM, and the U.S. government is at the top of the list of over 300,000. And a lot of those employers are right in that DC, that DMV area as well, which when you see that type of massive layoff in a certain industry like that, what will then happen is you will then see a housing crisis because people can't afford to keep their homes anymore. You'll see people start to move out. Hey, Roxy, you'll start seeing people move out of where they are, and it is going to get quite scary. It is good. Hey, Barn Dog, it is going to get quite scary, and I think this is just the beginning with this. And because we have a grifter in chief running the politics, running a White House, we don't have anybody that can have any strategy on how to stop the bleeding. He has no sense of how to actually govern. So now the problem is running into, we have this massive unemployment issue with no real way to ramp up employment, so to speak. And listen, stimulus packages are not the way because you end up having to pay for them. Look at during the pandemic, everybody got all of that money, and then what happened? Taxes increased, right? You didn't get some of the tax credits that you normally did. We started to see inflation on certain things because they had, the IRS, the government had to get their money back in some way. So this administration is inept at best. Thank you, Bar Dog. Inept at best. And, my fear is it is going to get a lot worse before it gets better. I do think we're going to see maybe double or triple the unemployment rate. And because he disbanded the sector that actually reports on the unemployment numbers because he's trying to make himself look good, we really have no real reporting. We have to rely on when ADP puts out their report on, ADP is one of the largest, what's the face? I can't think of it right off the top of my head, but they're the largest, where you can see how you get paid, right? You can see how you get paid. They're one of the largest. So they're going off of their numbers, and it just hasn't been great. It hasn't been great. We're all the way in the red in a lot of areas, and it's just sad. It is really sad. And you know what else is sad? It's sad that the fact, they always love to say, oh, we're not a part of a cult. MAGA is a cult. Because no matter what is going on, they always try to find a way to twist themselves up to making whatever it is be believable. They always trying to find a way to make it true or make something valid in it. And then when they hear themselves talk, they end up disproving the very thing that we said they were wrong. Like they're trying to convince us and themselves that they're right about. So I want you to hear this right here. We're going to watch a lot of videos today, y'all. I want you to hear how this MAGA person, they're not smart. Let me just put it this way. They're just not smart. And when you don't know the difference, when you don't even know geographics, like I wonder, like, did you guys pay attention into geography in school? This lady right here literally is trying to convince herself that there's no thing as India. I just want y'all to take a look at this. This is crazy. Like, it is just crazy. It's absurd.
For Kamala Harris.
This will probably like strongly debated just from like her character. I know that she is actually, I don't know what she is. She's claimed to be a lot of different things. I'm just going to go with like what I think it is, an African-American woman.
What else is she claiming to be? She's a Black woman. She's also Asian.
Is she? Well, I know that like that came out
Yeah.
and some people said that she was not, but I don't know.
Like, what did you hear she claimed to be?
I think like she claimed to be maybe Japanese. And like, I know you said that she was some type of Asian.
She's Indian?
I thought you just said she was some type of Asian.
Yeah, India is in Asia.
No, I don't think you understand what I'm saying right now. Indian and Asian, two different things. I thought
Yeah,
you were saying
but
she was
someone who's
Asian.
Indian is Asian.
I don't think you're like actually understanding what I'm saying right now. I feel like whenever you think of Indian, you don't think of like how an Asian person would look, is what I feel like I'm trying to say right now.
What?
I think we're both confused right now.
Yeah, but I think that the cause is you. Why?
The same way that Egypt is a part of the continent of Africa, okay? Because if you notice, a lot of people think that Egypt is Eastern Europe for whatever reason, and that is not so. Egypt is a part of the continent of Africa. Anyway, do you see how confusing they confuse themselves because they're not well educated and they're not well versed in anything that they talk about? And they can't say, you know, we're the best of the best, the cream of the crop, because they don't even know geography. They don't even know simple geography where locations are, the locale of places. Here's another instance where they just twist themselves up in a bind every single time, like literally every single time. And in this one, which is so alarming, they love to tote the Bible, right? And to tell us what's right, what's wrong, what we should be doing, what we shouldn't be doing. But then they find themselves pretty much like defending rapists, shall I say? Just take a listen. I want you guys to just take a listen to this. This is appalling.
Let's say you're right. I'll grant that you're right, and he's on the list and all the things, and you're right about all the accusations you've been making. Why is it wrong that he did those things?
Are you asking me why it's wrong to rape children?
So the topic of the conversation here was pretty much, it is wrong for pretty much Trump to be in office, knowing that his name is in the Epstein files multiple times, thousands of times. Also, there are other people that are around him that are in the Epstein files, and why they should not have any type of office, right? Why they should not have any type of power. And this is the response of this MAGA supporter. He says, why should it matter? Let me pull it back just a little bit.
Asking me why it's wrong to rape children?
Is it wrong that he accusations you've been making? Why is it wrong that he did those things?
Are you asking me why it's wrong to rape children?
Yeah, I need you to tell me why it is wrong in your eyes
To rape
to
children.
do that.
He's asking the podcast host for him to tell him why it is wrong to rape children. Let that sink in. This man said, I just want, let it sink in. This man said he wants the host to tell him, why is it wrong for people to rape children? I'm going to bring it back.
Why is it wrong that he did those things?
Are you asking me why it's wrong to rape children?
Yeah, I need you to tell me why it is wrong in your eyes
To rape
to
children.
do that. Yes. Do you need me to repeat it? Can you not hear me? Do you have too many cocks in your ears, or what's up?
And then he becomes defensive, right? He becomes defensive and arrogant and starting to belittle the host to make himself seem so macho and right. He thinks that he is right, that there is nothing wrong with raping children. Mind you, children, this means they're not at the age of consent. They're not in the age of consent. Just let that sink in. So for all of you out there who have minor children, this MAGA supporter is wanting you to say why it is wrong.
Why is it wrong? Is that too hard of a question?
Basically, hey, Vivian. Hey, Phoebe. The host is stunned. The host is stunned.
It's actually happening.
Why don't you actually answer the question?
It's actually happening.
No, because I asked the question. Why are you?
I didn't think this one would happen. You know, we see it often. They'll say that something's wrong, and then Trump will do it, and then they'll defend it. Did that with J6. Did that with the J6 pardons. Did that with the Medicaid cuts. Did that with the SNAP cuts. Just didn't think they'd do it with child rape.
Obfuscating. Let's just get to the fucking point, bro.
I just didn't think they'd do it with child rape.
He said, let's just get to the effing point, bro. Let's just get to the effing point. Why is it wrong to rape children?
And now we're seriously at that point where Trump supporters are now saying that it's not wrong to rape children and asking why it is wrong to rape children.
Baby. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what we're dealing with. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what we're dealing with. But let's not forget, these folks voted him in knowing that he had already stated that during his Miss America pageant, where it was teenage girls back there in their dressing rooms, he goes back there and walks through and inspects them while they're changing clothes because he can do what he wants to do. This is the same man that ran around saying, I grabbed the women by the you-know-what because I can. And this man, and I pray to God he is not a father. But if he is, this man wants us to tell him why it is wrong to rape children. My God, today. Just when I didn't think anything could get any lower, I think this is the lowest. I do believe this is the lowest of the low. I believe this may be the lowest of the low. I really do. And this is why the Epstein files still have not been released in completion. This is also why they are protecting folks. But this is also why Thomas Massey did not get reelected, because he, and mind you, I told y'all, Thomas Massey is no saint. Okay. He voted with Donald Trump, with immigration, with against LGBTQIA, against Medicaid cuts, tax hikes, all of the things. Thomas Massey is no hero. Okay. But a broken clock is right twice a day. And he is right on this front here. And now that he is no longer, he has lost his bid, even though he has put his bid into another district. Even though he's lost his bid this go round, he has now went nuclear on the House floor. He has went nuclear because he is now naming names on the House floor, and he's strategic about it because they cannot stop him. And once those names, anything that you say on the House floor during your time of speaking goes into record. And see, no one is going to strike the record at that moment, because then they will then go on the record for striking what he is saying. So Thomas Massey says, you don't want to redact it. That's fine. You know what I'll do? I'll just release the names on my own merit. So I will ask the gentle lady and the gentleman for a time at the mic, for time on the floor. They're going to grant him time on the floor, and guess what he is going to do? He is going to unleash names. Okay? He is going to unleash names, folks. And when I say I'm here for it, I am here for it.
Congress created the Department of Justice. Congress funds the Department of Justice, and Congress is responsible for the oversight of the Department of Justice. When will we see justice? I'll tell you what I've not seen. I've not seen any arrests from the revelations in the Epstein files, over 3 million documents describing horrible things, describing unspeakable things, so much of it redacted. Over 24 people have resigned, CEOs, members of government worldwide, but I haven't seen any arrests or investigations here in the United States from this Department of Justice. Prince Andrew, Duke of York, who has since been stripped of his royal titles due to his affiliation with Jeffrey Epstein, has been arrested. Peter Mandelson, who previously served as UK's ambassador to the United States, resigned in disgrace from United Kingdom's House of Lords and the Labour Party, and he's been arrested. Former Prime Minister of Norway, Torbjorn Jagland, has been charged. But we don't see any charges, arrests, or investigations in the United States. What do we see? We see our FBI director celebrating in the locker room at the Olympics overseas. It's fine to be proud of this country, but we should be proud of this country because we have a system of justice that works. And yet we do not. Who are the men that should be investigated? I'll name them right here. Leon Black. You don't even have to see past the redactions.
Leon Black. Google him. That's number one. He is one of the biggest people in the Epstein files. I told y'all, me and some of my classmates on our free time was unredacting, because you can unredact. All you do is put it in PDF reader. Unredacting and looking and following the webs of statements and emails and things like that. Leon Black.
To see that this man needs to be investigated. Jess Staley.
Jess Staley is another big name in the Epstein files. I want you guys to Google them yourselves. Leon Black and Jeff Staley.
Accused of terrible things. It's right there in the files. Why is he not being investigated? And Leslie Wexner.
Leslie Wexner is one of the sickest. Okay. One of the absolutely sickest. And has been untouched. But you always got to follow the money. You always got to follow the money. Leslie Wexner is named as one of the biggest co-conspirators in the Epstein files.
Why did the FBI list him as a co-conspirator in their own documents in a child sex trafficking case, and then tell him, according to him, that they had no questions for him? Why is that? Well, the Epstein Files Transparency Act requires the DOJ and the FBI to disclose to us their internal memos and emails about how they made those decisions, whether to prosecute or not prosecute. Yet they have not delivered those memos. And we still don't have the memos and documents and emails from 2008 to explain why Jeffrey Epstein was given such a light sentence in what would have been an open and shut case of child sex trafficking.
Open and shut case of child sex trafficking. But we also know that we have MAGA folks. And I do believe this is the thinking of those people that are in the Epstein files, including Donald Trump and Melania Trump. What is wrong with raping kids? This explains why we haven't seen this and there's not more outrage, right? MAGA is crumbling because they're infighting, because you have half of MAGA who thinks the Epstein files are disgusting, and then you have the other half, who are like, what's so wrong with it? Because they probably slept with their sister. But I digress.
Which allowed him to go back and recommit. Congress created the Department of Justice.
They're gross. They're disgusting. They are immoral. I mean, the list goes on and on and on about it. But again, this goes back to who we knew. This is already what we knew of them. We knew this of them. There's more and more reports of every time a breaking story comes out is either a pastor, or someone in this Trump administration, or it's a January 6er. They are all going to jail and being indicted for what? Either having child pornography in their phone, having sex with a minor, raping minors. It's always something with a minor. It is always something with a minor. Just go through it. Every time it comes out, it is always the faith leader that was praying over Donald Trump. Good morning, Gogo. That was praying over Donald Trump. Went to jail. He just got released a couple months ago for child pornography. These folks are sick in the head, and they love to use the Bible to enact their sick ways. Because we know the Bible don't talk about, fondling folks, especially not the innocent children. But these folks think it's okay. They think it's absolutely okay that all of this is going on. This president is running our country to the damn ground. This man is crazy, and he's just as crazy as the folks that voted for his ass. This man is so crazy, like he's mentally unstable. He is. And we're seeing it in 4K in real time every day. He left this dissertation on Truth Social threatening Iran. This is on Memorial Day because Iran said there is no deal. We already know the reason why we bombed Iran is because the Epstein files is here. Epstein files is not going anywhere. The same reason why he went in and invaded. First of all, let me back it up. The Epstein File Transparency Act passed. Then he goes and invades Venezuela because he feels like that will change the headlines. Because remember, good morning, Miss Toby. Remember, we are dealing with a reality TV star. So in his mind, he is living a reality TV show every day. And he's looking for ratings, and he's looking for the narrative to change every day. And because he cannot do anything to shake the sinking and failing, I think he's now down to like a 33% approval rating. Because he cannot change the approval rating, he's trying to change the narrative every day, and nothing is working. This is why the country is on fire. So then we start. Hey, Ms. Gwen. So we started with the Epstein File Transparency Act pass. I want y'all to follow me here. Okay, come close. They ain't gonna like this type of teacher. He started with that, and it passes. And it passes overwhelmingly, right? It passes, and then he tries to get people to take their name off of the list, and people said, I'm not taking my name off the list. Then the survivors go up there behind a closed door meeting and have this conversation, and you have congressmen and women, senators in there that are leaving out of there crying profusely. Okay, they're crying profusely because it's sick of what they're hearing. They're hearing of underage girls getting their teeth ripped out of them because the men did not want to be bitten. They were hearing horror stories of how they built these. They sent them to massage schools so that then they can massage these folks right down at Mar-a-Lago. You're trafficking these young girls, promising them some type of modeling career. And by the time that they're 16 years old, you're telling them they're too old now. They're picking them up while they're letting them out of school in middle school. And Ghislaine Maxwell is jumping out of cars to go get phone numbers. While, guess what? Ivanka Trump was right with her because there is documentation of that. Okay. So you have all of that going on. There are bodies buried in New Mexico right now at the ranch of young girls. There's even babies that are out there. Okay. We know this. We know that they have OBGYNs on payroll because they were ripping and tearing these young girls because they were having violent sex with these young girls. They were strangling them. It's even said in the files that it is presumed that girls have died of strangulation because they were having violent sex with them. And let's not even think about the ones that were trying to escape. They probably did something to them too. Let's not forget we have a reality TV star who cannot control the narrative. So he's just throwing something and hoping, he's throwing anything against the wall, hoping that it sticks. Well, I got news for you guys. This is not boiling a pot of spaghetti. This is real people's lives. So then he invades Venezuela, captures the president and his wife, takes him to New York, and then takes over the oil tanker, thinking that is now going to change the narrative that the Epstein files were going to go away. And he's telling people that what he fails to realize, come here, let me teach you something. What he fails to realize is Venezuela owes China money because China gave them a bailout. And the way that Venezuela was paying them back was by providing China oil at a severely discounted rate. I'm going to teach y'all something this morning. I'm going to teach y'all why we are on the brink of a global collapse. Okay. So he takes that oil tanker. Now China cannot get their oil for Venezuela because now we're occupying it. Well, here comes Russia. Russia then comes and says, hey, let me get that oil from you. And I believe they bought it for an undisclosed amount. But hey, it's never going to be put out there. We're never going to find out these things until shit hits the fan. So now China has no way to get their oil for cheaper. So now you're going to piss China off. This is why when he was over there at that summit a week and a half ago, I knew shit wasn't going to go well. It was just for pomp and circumstance. Okay. China wasn't going to back down. It was not going to be any agreements made, nothing. Okay. So then you have Venezuela, right? We had that. Then he comes and says, I'm cutting Medicaid, I'm cutting food stamps, I'm freezing this, I'm freezing that, I'm freezing money from the Department of Education. He's freezing all this because now the headlines from Venezuela is not looking good for him. And we still, good morning, everybody, and we still have the Epstein files. This is what happens when you put a reality TV star who is a con man, who has filed for bankruptcy 7 times, who does not pay his bills, who gropes women, who cheats on his wife for a younger woman and flaunts them openly, who is also senile and has dementia, and we are watching it in front of our very own eyes, who is a grifter, who is a liar, who also shits on himself because he cannot even control his bowels, but yet and still, we the people, not me, but the people still thought that he was mentally fit to put in office. So now we have Medicaid because we got people marching. Oh my God, they frozen food stamps. They're doing this, they're doing that. They're not going to pay for disabled children and people to get their services. Now that's the headline. Okay, now we are there with that headline. So now he's thinking, oh, now it will divert our attention away from what's going on in Venezuela and also from the Epstein files to now everybody's outrage of food. But then that is not playing out well for him. Now the headlines are, you're starving people. And it's not sitting well because guess what also happens? Let me tell you something. Everything is connected to something. You know what SNAP is connected to? SNAP is also connected to the farmers. That is the reason why SNAP was created, to help boost the American farmers. Because then if more people can afford the food, then guess what? We can produce more. So then that affects the farmers. And guess what else is affecting farmers? They're not paying. Farmers are no longer able to get the subsidies and things that they once was because he let Elon Musk go up there and disband and break down so many governmental agencies that were actually doing something, like the USAID that actually helps feed other countries as well. And when you disband that, that means that is food that is sitting there that is rotting. Right? And even Elon Musk said we did it by accident, but we don't see you reinstating it, which is why we have a crisis over there in Africa right now. Okay? Are you following me? Please let me know that you're following and connecting the dots. I'm going to have to make a board where we can connect these dots. So now we have the Epstein files, we have Venezuela, then he moves to the SNAP, which then we got the farmers now on the board, right? That are losing money. You've got schools that are losing money because they're not getting those subsidies to actually feed kids in the schools. And yet again, boom, another Epstein file bomb drops. Another Epstein file bomb. Oh my goodness. So he thinks he can control the narrative. The Epstein files are back again. Epstein files are moving, full steam ahead, moving. And then we wake up in the middle of the night and boom, Donald Trump decides to drop a bomb on Iran. And he says, we obliterated all of their nuclear capabilities. This is what he said. Oh, we went so far down in the bunker that we obliterated their nuclear capabilities. So now the news cycle is Iran, they bomb Iran, they do this, they do that, because he thinks that the American people are going to forget about the Epstein files. And he thinks that because he says Iran must not have a nuclear deal. Mind you, the nuclear deal that Obama had put in place where we did not have to go to war, no one died. And there was no enrichment that was going on, right? So that changes the headlines. But then, whoop, another bomb drops. Another bomb drops, and then now we have a No King's Day. We have a No King's Day where all across America, tens of hundreds of thousands are hitting the street. No kings, no kings, no kings, no kings. Boom, he's back in the headlines again for something that is not favorable. And it doesn't look good for our House representatives and our senators. It does not look good because it's their constituents, places that are deep red places that are out there saying no kings. They are out there saying no kings, right? But see, here's where they think the American people are dumb. We can chew gum and walk at the same time. And they were miscalculating that we wouldn't be able to do it, right? So you have no kings. So then he thinks, okay, well, I've got to change the narrative somehow. And he comes out and he talks about, he comes after Letitia James, James Comey, and gets a fake indictment rolling. Okay, I hope y'all following me with this. He gets a fake indictment rolling because it's like, boom, I've got to change the narrative from all of them people at No Kings. All of them signs that say release the Epstein files. All of them signs says, hey ho, he gotta go. Okay? All of that bad press all over everywhere. People are outside, they're striking, they're doing this. People are now withholding financial, they're making plays. So then he says, oh, I'm going to indict Letitia James and James Comey. Oh, really now? And if you don't know who Letitia James is one of the most prolific attorney generals this country will have ever seen. And she happens to be a Black woman. She happens to be the attorney general of New York. And there is no case that she has lost. So they come up with this phony thing that she is committing real estate fraud. Real estate fraud. They say, oh, she helped her niece buy a house in Virginia, but that is not her primary home. Well, I'm digging up. Letitia James wrote a lender a letter and said, this is not my primary home. I am helping my niece get this house. Y'all following me here? I hope y'all following me. So now you helping your niece get this house. So then they bring it in front of the judge, and Letitia James' lawyer, who also happens to represent James Comey, who also happens to represent Don Lemon. Abby Lowell is his name, one of the best in the business. They asked for the transcripts. They asked for the transcripts in front of the grand jury, and come to find out they lied. He went because no other federal attorney would sign their name on it. So mass exodus happened. I'm not putting my career on the line, because remember, guys, becoming a licensed lawyer is a 6-figure journey. I'm on it. I know. That is a 6-figure degree. You understand? I hope y'all follow me. 6-figure degree. So then they pulled the transcripts and then they presented it in front of the judge and said, hey, not so fast. Judge says dismiss, yada, yada, yada. So now he's really upset. He's really big mad. He's doing this, he's doing that. So then now they have a shadow docket. I hope you guys are following me. They have a shadow docket at the Supreme Court. They have a shadow docket at the Supreme Court, and what do we have here? It is voting rights. It is also reproductive rights. We got so many things. It is citizen rights. We have all of these things that are on the docket because now he cannot stand that he just lost. And not only did he lose, but he lost to a Black woman. Something he just loathed, right? A Black woman that is in New York, where he has residence, where he is actually from, where the very place that he wants to be accepted to so much that he's really not a part of the cool kids club. You understand? He's not a part of the cool kids club whatsoever. So now he's upset. So now he's online tweeting about this and tweeting about that, and they should be jailed and behind bars and putting AI pictures of them behind bars and in jumpsuits and da 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 da. And then boom, the Epstein files are back. The Epstein files, and some more survivors said, we want to say yada, yada, yada. And some more evidence is dropping that they indeed have been withholding information. and that the FBI did not redact the way that they were supposed to. So then they end up doxing some folks, survivors, that is. So now that doesn't sit well with people. So now that is now the headline. Okay, that is now the headline, and then some more bullshit is going on because it's something out every day. He says some more outlandish shit. He says Obama should be arrested. He's naming all of these people that are arrested, and he's coming after any and everybody. And then we get the story of Kash Patel is drunk. Then boom. Donald Trump orders his military to take another strike on Iran. Okay. Then he orders Jin will come back and catch the replay. Then he orders another strike on Iran, and what happens? He hits an all-girls school. And see, that is a war crime. And let's not forget that another war crime was done before that because he hit a boat in the Caribbean. And they did what you call a double tap strike, where in war, there's rules of engagement. When you see that the person is no longer armed and able to fight back, you are supposed to leave them be. But instead, they went and double tap back. So that's also on the headline. So that is a war crime. And they claim that they were drug lords, but come to find out they were fishermen. Okay. They were fishermen. Okay. So then, boom, he hits a child's school, all girls school. No one survives it. No one survives it. And he tells them he's starting raining hellfire over there. And Israel is bombing Lebanon. And he's bombing, and Iran said, oh, this is what you want to do. Nuck if you buck. We ready. We stay ready because we don't have to get ready. And this is why you don't bomb Iran. Well, Donald Trump feels like he can do whatever he wants to, when he wants to, how he wants to, and that he is big, rough, and tough. But the biggest problem was you entered in a place with no exit strategy because you entered in this to help out your homeboy, Bibi Netanyahu, who also knows that as long as he is in war, his ass stays out of jail. Birds of feather flock together. Okay? Because he has been found guilty of high crimes and misdemeanors over there in Israel is not real. Okay? He has been found guilty over there. So he convinces Donald Trump that there are nuclear bombs over there. Mind you, let's back up. Remember what I told y'all? Remember when he first bombed after Venezuela and then he bombed Iran? What did he say? He said that all of the nuclear capabilities had been depleted. Right? He said it had been depleted. So then why are you bombing Iran when you said that you depleted the nuclear bunker? That they had no capabilities because you obliterated this area. But now all of a sudden we need to go bomb them again. And you're not bombing a military target. You are bombing a civilian target, which is another war crime, people. This is a war crime. So Iran says, if this is what you want to do, strap up, seatbelt gang. Okay? They say strap up. So they strap up and they begin to rain down on me. Let your love fall like raindrops rain on me. You know what I'm saying? Rain, because Is Not Real has what you call a shield, right? It is called an iron curtain. But see, what they failed to realize, they miscalculated the fact that Iran is one of them ones in real life, okay? Is one of them ones in real life. So Iran said, we're going to make you exhaust your interceptors. We're going to make you exhaust everything that you have, and we're going to keep poking and poking and poking and poking at this iron curtain because eventually the curtain is going to fall. And not only are we going to do that, we're going to hit the UAE. We're going to ask Kuwait, what y'all want to do? We're going to ask Iraq, y'all okay over there? Hey, Afghanistan, you sure you want whatever we got going on? Because remember, It's Not Real is about this small, and Iran is about this big. Okay, let's remember. It's Not Real is this big, while Iran is this big. And the Strait of Hormuz is closer to Iran than it is Not Real. So Ayatollah said, ain't nothing coming through the strait. You come through the strait because they understand we got the power. Power to the people. And he also said, while y'all protecting pedophiles, we over here, we don't play that, right? Thanks so much, Phoebe. They said we don't play that. Okay, so he said, shut it down. Shut it down. And anything that come through here, we dare you. We dare you to put a pinky toe in here and we're going to bomb you. Right. We're going to bomb you. So then what does that do? That then sends the world in a tailspin. We have $5 gas. We have a food shortage because now farmers cannot get the fertilizer. Remember, farmers are back in conversation again. Remember, I told you the SNAP over here where they was cutting in benefits, and people buy groceries, and who supply them groceries? The farmers do. Okay. And those are SNAP approved. Okay. Y'all follow me here? Okay. I hope y'all follow me. So now the farmers is back on the thing, and the farmers are behind production because they cannot get the fertilizer from over there. Okay. And remember that soybean deal that was not really a good deal to begin with, and we should have kept what we had, but because a black man had got it done, it's a problem. Okay, because a black man got it done is a problem. So now they're suffering because the bushels of soybeans that they used to purchase, they're maybe purchasing a quarter of that. So now they've got the farmers in a chokehold. Okay, and are also not responding to the aid that the farmers are requesting. So it's causing farmers to go bankrupt. So now we have a food shortage. Not only do we have a food shortage, good morning, we're going to have higher prices of goods. Even something as small as your white t-shirt, you're going to see be a lot higher. So now we have gas prices that are sky high. And then you have him coming on TV saying, I'm ordering gas companies to provide you with diluted gas. And remember all those work from home initiatives that they decided they wanted to cancel. Now we got companies saying you can go now work back from home because people can't even afford to drive to work. More or less keep food on their table. Y'all following distractions. So then because the Iran war is not going the way that he wants it to go, he needs a ballroom. He needs a ballroom, and he needs the American people to pay for it. He needs a ballroom, and it went from, it only cost $200,000. It went to $400,000. Now we at what? 200 million? 400 million? He thinks that the American people is going to be a slush fund, but wait, whoa. The judge said, not so quick. Any type of cosmetic things that you want to do to the White House must go congressional approval. So then Lizzie Pants Graham. Lizzie Graham, the senator down in South Carolina who likes to go to Disney World and play in bubbles. Grown ass man. Go play in bubbles. Lizzie Graham decides that he's going to create a bill for the American people to pay for it. Oh, so you want our taxpaying dollars to pay for this bullshit? Meanwhile, our gas is high, groceries are high, we got a food shortage, rent is sky high. Okay, we can barely afford healthcare, we can barely afford childcare. Okay, hell, we can barely afford to even breathe American air at this moment. And so now we're at another distraction. We're at another distraction. We are at another distraction. And then boom, the friend of Melania Trump comes out on TikTok. Hey, comes out on TikTok and says, Melania, how dare you? We back in the Epstein files, y'all. The Epstein files has found its way back into the mainstream. And she says, you know what you did? Because their friend had her deported and had the child taken away from her. Because now she is a star witness. Hey, Brown Sugar. Now she is a star witness. She's a star witness. And then we have the first lady of Porn Star or Pornhub come out there. I think that Epstein files should be released and survival should be believed and heard. I have nothing to do with Jeffrey Epstein, and I don't know. It was merely casual conversation with Ghislaine Maxwell. Nothing serious. Nothing. Bitch, you said you was gonna have you for her to hit you up when she came back down there to Mar-a-Lago. That's not casual, if you ask me. And we already know how you got here, honey. You got here on an Einstein visa. That's a genius visa. That's somebody that is actually smart. Okay, somebody who that's an inventor's green card. Okay, and you over here talking about you was over here. There is a video, and I have shown it of in the 1990s when Donald Trump was married to his second wife. You out there hanging out with him in the 1990s talking about my name is Dr. Trump. My name is Uncle Trump. We got the news. We been seeing the news, honey. You busting it open wide, laying it low and spreading it wide. Child, please. You think we about to believe you? You think we about to believe a chick that do something strange for a piece of change? I know you lying to me, baby. We not going, we not buying, and we not selling. Okay, girl, find somebody else that's gonna listen to that ticky-tack ass accent of yours. Okay, talking about everybody should be believed. Oh, really? Should everybody be believed? Now the Epstein files is back into play. So now we have all of these things going on. We have the insurance crisis. We have a SNAP crisis. We have Venezuela. We got Iran. Okay, now we have a war that has caused everything to go up expensive, and then the Epstein files are back. And listen. This man decided to say he wants to invade Cuba. He wants to invade Cuba and has cut all aid because Cuba has no lights. Turn the lights down low. Cuba has no lights. They have no lights over there except for one 5-star hotel. Go check it out on TikTok. You'll see it. You'll see it. You'll see it. You'll see it. They have no lights. Turn the lights down low. Okay. Water is barely running because Donald Trump has stopped all aid and oil from getting out there. Okay. China said we're going to send something out. Remember, China is on the side of Iran, okay? Because remember, China is also giving Iran some technology. Because you're messing with China money on the back end. They getting their oil for cheap from Venezuela. And also remember that Russia told Iran where our little secret hideout spots are, and that's why they were getting blown up. Boom! How you know? They weren't even paying. The alarms couldn't even go off fast enough to let them know to run down in the bunker. You know why? Because Donald Trump already sold this country off during his first administration. But we have all of these dumpster fires going on. Then in the rallies, we got white people being shot and killed. Okay, we got folks being pulled out of their homes in the middle of the night in 20-degree weather with kids in their underwear and being zip tied on the side of the curb until they realize that they are American citizens. You got people being transported here, there, and everywhere, and you've got these concentration camps because that's what they're called. Build up in the all-female concentration camps. Teen pregnancy is on the rise because those ICE agents are raping them. Remember, he never buys. He never hires the best and the brightest. He only hires that are people like him. And now that you notice, let's tie these two things in. You notice that we no longer see the KKK and the Proud Boys because they are ICE. Because they are ICE. They are ICE. So then you've got little Mike Johnson up there, who is the House Speaker, who can't even make his way out of a wet paper bag when all he got to do is either tear it or lift it off his head. Okay? Tear it or lift it off his head. And the War Powers Act, Resolution Act comes up. And guess what? There's enough votes for folks to vote on it to make Donald Trump move those troops up out of there expeditiously. And because now that little Mike Johnson does not have a grip or a pulse on his own party, and his own party is revolting against him, he sends everybody home because he knows once the vote, they have enough votes to bring it up on the floor. But he knows once the votes are brought up on the floor and they pass it, guess what? That is a pathway for everything else to come behind. Then, if that wasn't enough, because the headlines now, the poll numbers are sinking sand. Okay. The Sandman has come into the building when it comes to poll numbers in this administration. Everything is in the red. Now they want to give reparations to the January 6th rioters. Talking about he thinks loyalty is the top priority because these are people that were loyal to him, yet these are cop killers. And they love to say that progressives, Democrats, Black people are cop killers. No. You have never seen a mob try to prevent the peaceful transfer of power, which is certifying the election. We all watched it on January 6th. They were beating them with poles. They were pepper spraying them. They threw bricks through windows. They smeared feces over folks' offices. They were chanting, "Kill Mike Pence." They were looking for Nancy Pelosi. You had congressmen and women hiding and barricading themselves inside of offices. And they want to give them $1.7 billion in reparations with the fact that you cannot see who got it. Anybody that has been severely affected by it. And then they want to say reparations. Then you got folks over here saying, oh, well, reparation, because now that's the case. That's the case. Where is our 40 acres and a mule? Because we built this shit for free. Where's our 40 acres and a mule that we were promised? Then you had some man come up on here and talk about, well, reparations don't work. Well, I can't tell. Ask the Jewish people. They got reparations for the Holocaust. Ask the Asian folk. They get reparations. So, because when it's Black, it don't work, right? So now what is happening is because they know if this reparations shit passes, we gonna come for our money too. So you see all of these distractions that are going on, and this is why we are in a state of confusion, but we must learn to walk and chew gum and snap our fingers and count 1, 2, 3 at the same damn time. Okay? Get your ass out there to vote. It is chaotic, but just because it's chaotic doesn't mean we have to be a part of the chaos. We have to see it what it is and call it for what it is. It's chaotic. It's disgusting. And they're trying their best to distract us, but see, we've learned. We have learned. We can't jump at everything and fall out of everything. We just make a tally mark. Another reason why you got to get these people up out of office. Another reason why we got to switch to judges. Another reason why we need a different mayor. Another reason why we need a different councilman, men and women. Another reason why we need to change our governor. Another reason why we need a different senator. Another reason why we need a different House Speaker. Another reason why we need a different majority leader. Another reason why we need a different president and vice president of the United States of America, because they are running this thing like the empty hotels that Donald Trump runs. He has created a slush fund for himself. And now he is now trying to build a UFC fighting ring on the outside of, in the front part of the White House. Y'all don't get the fuck out of here with no bullshit. I don't ever want to hear nobody talk about, well, what did Barack Obama do for you? He ain't do this. He didn't do this. There was some decency, decorum, and class. It wasn't something going and setting on fire every day of the week, sometimes multiple days of the week. We didn't have to wake up wondering what the Twitter fingers in chief has now put out there. He is now calling. This man is now calling for the death of Republicans. This man is now calling for the death of Republicans. And if you don't believe me, watch his space.
States overnight posted memes of himself holding a rifle on top of a rhino saying, "No rhinos." Now, rhino is spelled with an H, R-H-I-N-O, but R-I-N-O stands for Republicans in name only. So this
Not only is he a fool, he's illiterate. We all know that rhino is spelled with an H. Rye, like a rye. Rhino is spelled with an H. This is how he spells it. And we know rhinos are Republicans.
This meme that the president is amplifying suggests that he wants to take out Republicans in name only. People he have called rhinos in the past include Thomas Massie and Bill Cassidy and others. And he's holding a firearm to show him shooting and killing.
This y'all playboy though. This y'all mans in them. Come get your mans in them. Come get your mans in them. Come get your mans in them. He's also back yet again this morning, threatening Iran yet again. Threatening Iran yet again. He's threatening them already yet again. Meanwhile, MAGA, you know, those podcast bros, they're sick of his shit. Not that I care, because they helped put him in office. But I'm going to leave y'all with this.
It's the greatest con in history. By the way, it's the greatest con in history. I mean, truly. It's the greatest. And I don't say great in like a good way. It is truly the most successful con in history. It makes Enron look like a guy doing 3-card Monte on the street. Anything that you can remember and identify as a complete and utter scam, this is the greatest con in history. To run as an America first, and you're going to take care of America, and then turn around and go, you know, all of these things, daycare, Medicare, Medicaid, we have nothing to do with that. We're fighting wars. That's what we're here to do. We're here to have a defense budget of $1.5 trillion, and we're here to fight wars. It is the greatest scam in history. You got to hand it to him. And I mean, truly, and not in, you know, again, not in a moral way, but like, you got to hand it to him. This is the greatest about face in political history that I have really ever seen.
The greatest scam in history. I laid it out to y'all. How he's scamming the girls, how he's duping the girls. Because guess what else is happening? And I'm telling y'all, this is what happens. This is a county in West Virginia that voted 82 plus points swing to Donald Trump. And this is what folks are with here. Look at this. He is ramaging. He is ramaging folks' way of life. Look at this.
See, this is where all the water.
This is because of the data centers, because of the greed. The greed. But this is what happens when you put greedy politicians that are not apologetic for it, nor do they try to hide it. This is who they are. This is in their DNA. This is absolutely what they've been and what they continue to do in front of our face in broad daylight. They don't try to hide it, just like those doggone Trump phones, just like those Trump Bibles, those gold shoes. Talking about he's trying to appeal to black people. Child, please, black people are more than just sneakers. But this is what's going on in West Virginia, where Trump won this by 82 points.
Water's coming in.
This is the lady's backyard. If you can see right here, there is a trampoline, meaning those are kids that live here. Take a look.
See, this is where all the water's coming in. And it's never happened like that, and I've been here 30 years. See, this is where all the water's coming in.
This is sick. This is sick. People are sick. There's also outside of that, guys, outside of that, here's another location. Okay. And this is in Rio Grande. And there's a facility there that has been roughly tied to $70 million of gallons of water usage per year connected. It's disaster in plain sight. And these people are tired. People are sick and tired of it. Just look.
In the Rio Grande River right now, this is what it looks like right here, all dirt.
Rio Grande River. River means water flowing. There is no water flowing. There is no water and nothing flowing. It is dirt. It is dried up.
All dirt. You're looking at an environmental catastrophe, what this is. The new Meta data center in Los Lunas, New Mexico, takes 75 million gallons per year to cool down the data center. And this is what we're left with. Another data center is being built in El Paso right now, a Facebook Meta data center. How much more water is that going to take? This is going to be, folks, this is apocalyptic. I've never seen a river like this. By this time of the year, you couldn't even swim in this. It would take you under. The undercurrent would take you out.
This describes the administration as a whole. The administration is apocalyptic. They dry you all up. This is why it is so important that you make sure you are not only registered to vote, that you invoke your right to do so. You invoke your right to do so, because it is corruption playing in front of our own eyes. And if you don't believe me, listen to one of the ones that helped usher him in. Just listen. Just
I have to
listen.
be honest. I didn't expect the corruption to be quite as, widespread as it's been, and like the self-dealing and the lining of his and his family's pockets. Like that's been a little shocking.
Talking
And I just
billions of
didn't
dollars.
expect Trump to be so disrespectful of his base.
Right. Well, you know what, Megan? I got to push back a little bit because Trump didn't take a salary while he's president. So I don't know what you're talking about.
Right. I mean, you look at like across the board of the Trump family. I've never seen a family get so rich off of a presidency.
Right.
And it happened at the same time as we now have a Supreme Court ruling that basically says any official act he takes while in the White House is protected.
Right.
And those two things are, seem to be giving him some sort of a hall pass that could very much get abused. I don't want to, say he's crossed the line legally because I actually haven't taken a close look at that. But, he's done a lot that pushes it right up to the line. And I just don't think we want our presidents or their families getting rich off of the presidency. And I really want to know more about all these trades that are happening on Iran right before he makes the announcements. Like, this is not the way it's supposed to be. Even one of those would have caused a massive scandal 12, 13 years ago.
I'm glad that she admitted that, because if one of these things that I have mentioned to you guys, if one of those things had happened while Barack Obama was in office, we know they would have went in there, handcuffed him, Sasha, Michelle, Malia, Michelle's mom at the time when she was living, and whoever else. They would have locked them up. They would have been locked them up. Guys, the United States is on fire. And I'm not saying this to scare you. I'm just saying, listen, this is as plain as it gets. It is a dumpster fire. Make sure if you can afford to get a passport, get it, because that's what they got coming up next. Make sure your voter registration is correct. Make sure your IDs are up to date and not expired. Have a plan. Sit down with family and friends. Talk about it. Come up with a plan to help each other. Stay above water, stay above rain. Start gardening from home, even if you're in apartments. Start educating your children on the real history of America, because slave history is American history. We must know, because we must know how hard we had to fight to come from such egregious conditions to still make it out. Make it out and be highly educated. But the only reason why we've been oppressed is because they know our brilliancy is a danger to them. They feel like we are going to retaliate. And I've got news for you. I have news for you. If we wanted to retaliate, we would have burnt this bitch down long time ago. We would have burnt this mother down long time ago. And on that note, thank you for coming to Politics in Plain English. I hope you learned something. I hope you could follow the diagram that I gave you on how much stuff they try to distract us from, but it all goes back to money and the Epstein files. It all goes back down to both. Learn the players. Figure out who you're voting for and get in line and vote and stay there until you can cast your vote. You understand? You ain't crazy. They're crazy. Y'all have a great, fabulous Tuesday. I appreciate y'all for coming through. And I'll see y'all tomorrow.